I just played through Act 1.5 of Baldur's Gate 3, and that should tell you something about how enormous it is. Let's get back to the magic, shall we? You know what to do if you enjoy this video. Oh, Shadowheart needs to talk? Is something wrong?
No. I just wanted to see how you felt after the night we spent together. When we talked and kissed.
She'd better open up about it.
It meant a lot to me. You mean a lot to me. And that was before the kiss.
Aww, I think she's winning me over. We talk for a bit about Shar's Dark Justiciars, but it's time to get moving. Are we going to have to wreck those ogres? They seem too biggy for that. Well, I can always lie. It makes me a friend. Sure, I have to promise 1,000 gold after they fight, but still. Ooh, what's over here? There's a stuffed bear? I'll let Karlach have that one. There's another goblin down here, and oh hells. Well, there are only 2. That's no big deal. We can definitely use this stuff for potions. Let's take it. Wait, what's down here? More skeletons. Yay. Thankfully, it's much easier to put the undead down this time. The scrolls are pretty helpful, but I have to give them to Karlach for now. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the sexiest of them all? Oh, it's actually a passage to another room. The thing asks me a question, and wait, the wizard answer was wrong? Run! At the very least, no one is seriously hurt. That makes me angry though, so I threaten the mirror. It lets me through. There is a lot of loot around, and the not Necronomicon? I'll have to examine that later, if at all. Let's get out of here. Oh, there's Auntie Ethel. 2 guys are after her because of their missing sister. This is gonna suck, isn't it?
Auntie Ethel's face creases with false concern. You realize she's lying about seeing this girl, Mayrina.
Ethel turns awful when I call her out and she disappears. It turns out that Mayrina wanted to raise her husband from the dead. Something tells me that wouldn't work so well. For one thing, something is off in the swamp. We find Ethel and Mayrina in the tea house up the road. It seems like she's fattening her captive up. That overrides my concern about the tadpoles. What do you know, she's ugly inside and out. We have to fight off a bunch of little creeps. It takes a while because of their nasty attacks, but they go down. Unfortunately, that means we have to camp. Gale needs to eat. Oh, Shadowheart likes me even more now? Splendid. I go to sleep, and what does she want?
You haven't been using the parasite's power.
Okay. The visitor admits that the tadpoles cannot be removed because of a magic barrier. But just who is she?
It's complicated. But I'm an adventurer, just like you.
Something tells me otherwise. Still, she wants us to get to Moonrise Towers. Shadowheart wants to share something with me. Okay, she remembers a time when she was little with a cut across her cheek. A wolf approached her, only to be stopped and cornered by Sharons. I fail a religion throw. That might not be good, but at least she trusts me.
Normally I'd agree. But with you, it's getting easier by the moment.
Aw, that's sweet. Unfortunately, we have to proceed to a pretty nasty section. The hag taunts me for a bit, and I talk to a captive who doesn't want to move. Nothing comes of that. The door doesn't want to let me in either, so I naturally get baned for smashing a mirror. Okay. I make the stupid mistake of putting on one of Ethel's mind control masks. Luckily, my team takes me down and gets the thing off. Okay, I need a spell of some kind, but I guess we have to camp first. Well, I get a magic lesson from Gale. That's neat. I sense the presence of Mystra. On the other hand,
The weave connects you. The moment feels intimate.
I like that the writing leaves some moments up to interpretation. Is Gale a great friend or gay? I went with the friend option because Shadowheart. Speaking of which...
It's strange. I've been dwelling on what I told you before about wanting to become a Dark Justiciar. But perhaps I should be content with my lot. I'm already blessed to have you at my side after all.
That is stunningly romantic. I can't even joke about it. Back in the crypt, I figure out that I can protect myself from evil. It's easy to learn, so I do exactly that. Let's get that hag. First, we have to take out her followers. Some of them struggle against the monster's influence, which adds some tragedy to what comes next. Astarion goes down because of a poison cloud, and oh great, the last mask is a healer. We have to jump through some explosive gas. Once we make it to the bottom, I spot Mayrina in a wooden cage. After the hag taunts us, she naturally sets it on fire. Oh, did I mention that she can project herself? Those go down with magic missiles to the face. It's easy to pelt Ethel with a lot of damage, but then she tries to cut a deal.
Let me leave with the girl, and I'll give you power.
Nah, I'm taking the girl too. Damn, lucky me. And hey, I got some wisdom. Mayrina gets pissy because the witch who just tried to kill her was going to resurrect her husband. Right. Wait, she was going to trade her baby for that? What?
Auntie Ethel promised to give this child a good life. Teach them magic even.
She needs some encouragement, but she's depressed. I get it. When I loot the place, I find a wand that could resurrect her husband. Huh.
It wants to be used.
Nope.
What have you done? You bastard!
Wait, don't we have Withers? He could do it. No. Oh well. My team starts bleeding because of a spike trap, which makes it time for camp. Unfortunately, a fight breaks out over the artifact. I have to stop this.
Remove yourself if you are so easily offended. This is not your concern.
Oh, I beg to differ.
Nonsense. You're just finally showing us what you really are. A reaver to the bone.
Shadowheart has a point about how Lae'zel seems to want to throw a bomb into the camp. Wait, she wants to duel? No. No. It takes 2 rolls, but I stop Shadowheart from committing murder. Still, Lae'zel has to calm the hells down.
Surrender? A disgusting notion.
No, you're going to get along. Cooler heads prevail. Good. And then I talk to Lae'zel.
You are efficient, dominant, courageous.
Where is this going?
When I come near, your odor alone is enough to make my neck sweat and my hairs stand on end.
What?
Enough talk. I will be plain. I want to taste you. Perhaps tonight, perhaps later. But I want it all the same.
No. No thank you. Well, Karlach's happy that we avoided a fight. That's something. I think I need Will out on the hunt with me. Let's do that. But first, I've got to put some armor on. We run into some mephits and trees that really don't like us very much. I get taken down again, and Will soon follows. Thankfully, Karlach's rampaging ways and my fireballs do the trick. This chest has fresh food in it. Huh. We have to take out some harpies near the Emerald Grove as well. The win is pretty easy anyway. That gives me the chance to clear out some excess garbage. Wait, the goblin that I saved earlier is dead? I wonder who did that. We get ourselves into a nasty fight with some more gnolls down the road. I almost go down once more, only for the unexpected to happen. Somehow, I tadpole their chief into turning on her own kind. Shadowheart helps me up too, that might keep happening. Karlach saves me as well. I'm able to return the favor because that's what drinking buddies do. When the last gnoll goes down, we're left to deal with the chief. I don't really want her to eat herself, so I tell her to GTFO. It turns out that some Zentarum merchants were hiding out in the cave. I can't get them to aid me, but they give me the location of their hideout. That's fine. There be treasure here. There's a bunch of loot lying around and ooh, Shadowheart can make magic mines? Nice. There's an ox in the barn near the Centaurum locale. It really hates my presence. Therefore, we have to take it down. No meat? Drat. I take a key from the lookout and head down into the cavern. Wait, they kidnapped an artist? That's not good. Fortunately, my way with words sets him free. Oscar felt that he had to walk away from his wedding because he loved another. He'll probably be helpful in the future, so I give him some money to ease his way back to Baldur's Gate. Oh, Zaris wants to give me a crossbow? Okay. Unfortunately, there's not much else around. Over in the Blighted Village, I finally deal with the evil book. Shadowheart destroys it. However, it releases 3 shadows. They aren't that difficult to handle, but we have to...
You can go, but you make one wrong step and I'll rip you to shreds.
Well, that's nice. Let's see what we can... Uh-oh. Will has the power that we need, but he goes down very quickly. Thankfully, the ladies and I are able to finish the owlbear off. Oh right, we took out the... Oh no! I discover a chest over here that's protected by Selûne. Go figure. There's a prayer sheet behind the statue though. Will reads it aloud and the chest opens up. Shadowheart really doesn't like that we're dealing with Selûne's goodies. She comes around after a little persuasion.
Fine. Perhaps you can sell them for a couple of coins.
Or I can give them to you later. After a solid rest, we head back to the Blighted Village and come across a well. It actually leads to a cavern. Huh. Phase spiders and ettercaps are here? Wonderful. Will's scorching rays are helpful, and I follow that up with an icy dagger. We're charging up in this place. Oh, Avernus, that's a huge spider. She hatches a few eggs only to stand on her webbing. That's a weakness that we're able to exploit quite effortlessly. Once we deal enough damage, the Spider Queen jumps into a hole, so she's dead. Right. Well, time to wipe the rest of the creepies out. Just to be safe, we bash the rest of her eggs, too. There's not much else in the cavern, but we find a forge that calls for Underdark bark. There's some infernal iron here, too. Karlach can keep that for now. Let's get back outside. It's time to go for the Underdark. Unfortunately, that means that we have to waste a ton of goblins. There is a little trick that tips the scales in our favor, though. We set ourselves up on the bridge outside their fortress and let them come to us. They do exactly that. A cloud of magic daggers makes all the difference in a choke point, so why not go for 2? You'd think that the goblins wouldn't charge into that, but they're considerate of us. Once we clean up the stragglers, we find the owlbear cub again. I let him follow me back to camp.
New home? Maybe.
Scratch might like a friend, if the cub doesn't eat him anyway. We missed some goblins inside the fortress itself. They're no challenge at all, but that big troll might be. Jogging a memory doesn't work, a little persuasion does. We'll leave the creature be. There's a stone disc puzzle on the floor. However, I soon realized that a switch in the back of the room opens the same door. Whatever, let's get to the Underdark. We find ourselves in a Selûnite outpost. The front is heavily guarded, so we make our way out the side and... Great. There is some treasure down here and predators too. The Boulette has heavy armor and can't climb, but it can spew acid at Shadowheart. I'm here. It's time to camp. Astarion tells me about his history, and Gale needs an artifact. My gift doesn't seem to be working. Then again, Gale has to tell me that he loved up Mystra. It was a part of his official service, of course, and she was a good friend. Oh, he also has a magical nuke in his chest? Oh. Oh no. I have no choice but to help him out. Somehow. Oh hey, the owlbear cub found its way down here. How did that happen again? Whatever. I'll feed the big fluff ball.
Food. Eat more.
Careful. Once that thing's eaten through the camp, it might start looking at you hungrily.
Why, Shadowheart, I thought you were already doing that.
No. Run.
He'll be back. Scratch wants to play fetch? Well, why didn't he bark so? Who's a good boy? You are! Out in the Underdark, we find a tower guarded by a bunch of turrets. They aren't terribly threatening to our journey into the arcane fortress, but the elevator doesn't work. Yay! There's a path down the mushrooms. Maybe that's where I need to go? It's easy to jump down, and there are no turrets on the floor below. Therefore, I can get rid of the turn mode. There's a lot of loot here. Then again, the way down is too dangerous. Luckily, I have Featherfall at my disposal. I have to carry a Sisur flower back into the tower. While I temporarily can't cast spells, it proves to be just the thing I need. Well, the robots are nice enough to let us have the loot. That works. Time to engage some slave catchers that I eliminate on my first try, second try, third try. This is so awful that I actually wind up losing will for about 5 minutes.
By doom and dusk, I strike thy name from the archives. Rise.
That's better. Oh, the cub is back and he's wounded. Let's get him patched up.
The little beast's quite charming once you get accustomed to the smell of rotting flesh.
Well, he's here and Carla can touch the creature? That doesn't seem right. Let's get Lae'zel out in the field. What's up north? Something called the Sovereign telepathically threatens me. I'm able to defuse the problem, although I'm not sure how to proceed. There are fungus creatures down here? That's a new one. I also have to find a dwarf who's on the outs with his wife. Never doubt the bro code. Ah, this must be the gnome who ran from the slave catchers. I give her an antidote and talk to the Sovereign. We already took out the main threat to his colony, but there's a drow at the head of it all. The Myconids want us to eliminate him as well. Okay? Let's do it. There's a traitor over here, and he knows a mind flayer. Oh, this one isn't hostile. Okay, maybe it can help? The tadpoles in our brains can't be extracted properly because they're shielded, so we need to go mushroom hunting. There's another fungus out here named Glut. It has no home and hates the Dwagar, but it needs to see what we did. Oh, it's Balin. He's stuck in an explosive mushroom patch. We can give him a magic hand, though. Okay, he's out. Good. After we clear out even more nasty creatures, we return to the fishing village and, oh nuts, Glut wants to wipe out Spa's circle. Yeah, we're not doing that. Although the Myconid is a tank, it's no match for an ice dagger. We wail on the maniac until it dies. Dareth really hates her husband. Yeesh! Well, we got the magic bark from the Underdark. Let's see what we can do with it. A silencing dagger might be useful. I'll keep that just in case. Aw, Scratch and the cub are buddies now. Good for them. Time to take a boat into the unknown. Some Dwagar meet up with us. The boots give us passage into their realm, but trouble is afoot because Nier isn't paying his people. Oh, Lae'zel doesn't care about slavery either. That's just great. I get into a history lesson with a stonemason and grab a free infernal plate. Better keep that in hand. The next part is insanely difficult, and I'm not just saying that because the gnomes might stay put. Nier has the power of mind control, so letting him out without preparation is a very bad idea. Going for the dissidents, however, can get some results. I want half.
Fine. Half it is. But first, we need to take care of something.
To be specific, he wants us to destroy this floating ball. That splits the Dwagar in half when the battle comes. It's still a messy fight, but at least Nier seems to lose his mind control abilities. And hey, I'm able to free the gnomes at the end of it all. Good feels good. One of the gnomes, Walbrin, knows the recipe for rune powder. We'll have to go after him. But first, we have a head to deliver.
In dealing death, you have brought this circle life, and thus we name you Life Chanter.
Cool. The amulet is a nice touch, too. Oh, Scratch found a bone. You want to fetch it, boy? Go get it. It's time to head on over to the mountain pass. I have to keep Lae'zel on side, but she's easy to convince. That way leads back to the goblin camp, so I'd better turn around. We follow the monastery trail and meet up with Lady Esther. She's not a fan of the Githyanki because they took out the monks. However, she and her Society of Brilliance believe that nurture can overcome nature. Well, she isn't wrong, but I need payment up front to do something that I won't do. There are some traps to disarm and loot to claim, but the Death Shepherds get in the way. They constantly resurrect each other, wiping out most of our spell slots. Thankfully, the second one falls. What's with Gandalf the Red? Our new acquaintance, Elminster Almar, is looking for Gale. We have to go back to camp anyway, so let's see where this goes.
She sent me, Gale. You know of whom I speak.
Our guy seems to want some food before he tells us anything. Shouldn't he be able to conjure it up, though?
Fine, fine. I'll turn a deaf ear to the clarion calls with which my scorned stomach beseeches me. Graver matters are at hand.
Mistra has an assignment for Gale because of course we have to do all the work. How typical. She wants Gale to blow himself up, stop the Absolute, and be redeemed? While that is a solid option, it doesn't sit right. Still, the orb is contained for now. Shadowheart certainly doesn't like that. Karlach, on the other hand, is a bit more confused.
Oh, was that Gale's granddad?
No. I tell her about it, but I'm not sure what Gale is going to do.
Well, tell him to pick the right one. Well, better yet, I'll do it. Fucking wizards, man. They always need help picking the simple, obvious option.
Hey, Karlach, you do know that I'm a wizard, right?
If Mistra can't think of another way to stop the Absolute than sacrificing Gale, she's no god worth worshipping.
Oh, that's very thoughtful of her. Gale is thinking about it because the gods have a non-intervention policy. We'll consider all options, though. Poor Karlach isn't feeling so good either. We'll have to find a way to fix her up, and fast. Back out on the road, we come across the path to the Shadow-Cursed Lands. That isn't where we want to be just yet. Let's turn back. This looks like the place. The ferry doesn't work, so we'll have to take the long way around. Oh hells, there are more mines over here. Luckily, they're more of an annoyance than anything. There's a blue jay here. Shadowheart gets some intel out of it about what lies in the monastery. We'll have to deal with giant eagles and kobolds. That shouldn't be a problem, should it? Once I get the ferry working, we proceed to the building. The Gith despise halfling absolutists. One of the baddies tries to make a run for it, only to get a bolt in the back. Ah, a bunch of drunk kobolds are sleeping next to the liquor. I tried to take one out quietly, but that wakes all of them up. The wine on the floor is very flammable. This could work out if we watch our... What a happy little accident. There are a few stragglers, but they fall very easily. Karlach is getting beefy. Wait, why did they seal themselves in the wine barrels? No matter, let's climb to the roof. A bunch of very angry Grimishkas get in our way and out of it in no time at all. At the top, we come across the eagles. I can't animal handle my way out of this, so we have to fight. The first one goes down easily enough, and then the reinforcements show up. Karlach gets absolutely clobbered by a multi-attack, but our teamwork ends the threat. And hey, the Blue Jay gave us a path to some buried treasure, so it isn't all bad. There's a Guardian of Faith down below. What for? I'm sure we'll find out later. We have to focus on the creche. I let Lae'zel take the lead and we're allowed to pass to the infirmary. But first, we have to stop by a painting of Lakith.
She is both the sun that blinds us and the void that contains us. Praise be.
From what I know, though, she stole some imagery from Orpheus. I'll have none of that. It's time to bring her down to our level.
A wretched display. I thought you better than such juvenile antics.
Hey, Lae'zel, you're in a cult. Some Githyanki kids are kicking around a chest with an animal inside. I stop them and open it, only to be surprised by a Grimishka. That seems kinda evil anyway. Gustil Stornagos is studying the tadpoles. It takes some convincing to get treatment, but she agrees. The Zathis looks incredibly suspicious, so I let Lae'zel go for it first. She gets absolutely battered by the psychic force of the machine, and I can't talk her out of it. At all. Every single one of my attempts fail, but the Dream Visitor makes the machine explode anyway. Gustil leaves to continue the investigation. Or so we think. There are a ton of tadpoles around. I'd better claim them. She locked the door. That's not good. Yep, they're trying to kill us. On the bright side, we have a choke point. That gives us an edge until we clear out most of the infirmary. Down they go. Lae'zel suspects treason for some reason. That machine must have done a number on her brain. I stop the Githyanki from letting their young kill each other, and we move on to Kithrak Therazin. She knows what we know, but I have to actually show her the artifact to meet the Inquisitor. The object remains mine because of our special visitor. Shadowheart has to nurse her fear of wolves. Once she does, we go to camp. Lae'zel tells me that the Githyanki are effectively social Darwinists. Uh-oh. After some sleepy time, I talk with one of the young. Apparently, my kindness reminds him of Orpheus. That'll definitely come up later, won't it? He has a book about the guy. I wonder if I can... Never mind. There's a hatchery down the hall, but only one egg. The Guardian is troubled because it won't hatch. I can't convince him to give it to me. Shadowheart has no such luck either. Lae'zel is able to do so, though. After our Gith retrieves the egg, she seems to quickly attach to it. We're off to see the Inquisitor, I guess. Just to be safe, my lady should take the high ground before we talk to... Yeah, I can't pronounce that. I'll just call him Wargaz. Of course, the guy acts like a jerk, but he gives me a lot of information. Therefore, I show the weapon to him. Vlaakith intervenes.
You are permitted to look upon me. You are invited to me.
Yeah, I'm not feeling it. She seems fine with me though, so... Oh, Vlaakith wants me to destroy the mystery woman? I don't think I can do that, but I'll fake it. We flash into the prism and jump across to a portal of some sort. The visitor doesn't like that. Not at all.
I told you to stay away from the Githyanki. But you just couldn't help yourself. Could you?
I'm trying to get some xenophobes off my back. Play along. The visitor tells me that she stole the artifact from Vlaakith. There's an enormous secret buried within it that could end the Gith Queen, so it seemed only natural to keep it anyway. I'm not going to chop this lady.
It seems I was right to put my faith in you after all. Thank you.
She sets me back on the path to Moonrise Towers. But first, I have to tell Lae'zel the truth.
We must go to the Try. He will summon Vlaakith. She must know of this apostate.
Wake up! We're walking into an ambush! What a surprise! Vlaakith wants to slice us up. Wargaz tries to mind steal me, but Lae'zel takes him out before he can do any serious damage. That makes the... okay.
She tests me. A trial of faith. Kalir prepared me.
She is so blind. Let's get out of here. We raid the place, and what are those two statues for? The plaques state that they should be oriented to sunrise and sunset. I move one, Lae'zel pushes the other, and we open a secret door. It isn't that hard to take out the energy doors in the cavern. However, we hit a snag in the inner chamber. Something needs to be inserted into the pedestal, but what exactly? The answer must lie with the Guardian of Faith outside. There's a ceremonial battle axe right beside it, which provokes an attack. It's no real problem for the gals and me, though. Huh. There's a chamber with 4 pedestals, and we have 3 ceremonial weapons. Karlach gets walloped by a bad guess, but we wind up discovering a Dawnmaster's crest. That must be it. Hey, Githyanki, why are you staring over there? Uh-oh. Karlach almost goes down, but we already wiped most of the crash. This is no problem at all. Let's grab the Blood of Lathander. Karlach hands it off to Shadowheart for safekeeping. The job's done, so we can sleep on it. On the plus side, Karlach and Shadowheart are feeling optimistic about our chances. That's certainly something to celebrate. I can actually talk to animals for a moment too. Scratch is a little sad about his previous buddy.
I'll never forget him. But I'm glad to have met you.
Me too. What about our cub?
Hello. You are not food. You are friend.
Well, that's a big upgrade, and he likes some petting. We have to head back to the Underdark. Before that can happen, Kithrak Voss interrupts because whatever is in the prism can set the Githyanki free.
The Undying Queen is my freedom. It is she who will purify me, and she who will ascend me.
I feel bad for her. Really. Voss confirms what I've suspected for some time. The Zaithisk is a fraud and the Lich Queen is a tyrant.
Your words carry truth.
Finally! She sees the light! Oh good, we have a side detector now. That should keep the hunters off our backs. At the very least, Lae'zel is actually working through all of the lies that she has swallowed. I guess that's what happens when the brainwashing finally breaks. How do humanoids like the Githyanki lay eggs, though?
Githyanki are quite superior to humans. Though it must be said, you are an uncommonly adequate member of your species.
Was that a speciesist compliment? I guess I'll take it. We've got some mushroom hunting to do. There's a sword and a stone as well. It budges with a little blood. We have to... What is that? What is that? Luckily, Karlach's fire and Shadowheart's light hammer the spectator into submission. We missed a noble stalk mushroom near the Biberbang colony and a tongue of madness in the arcane tower. Omela might be able to do his thing now. Unfortunately, his attempt to cut the tadpole's defenses only makes it stronger. He says sorry and gives me a ring, which is nice, I guess. Lae'zel and I get clobbered in the Grimforge, but we have to push through its bots to get some cool stuff. It's probably a good idea to let Shadowheart eat the noble stalk. I have to convince her, but she can only remember bullies at the cloister and a tiefling friend. That's better than nothing. Sleepy time. There's a Mithral ore vein over here. I carve a piece out of it and return to the forge for some armor. Little do I know that I'm walking into the worst trap of the game. Grim is pretty much invincible to everything but blunt objects. We don't have anything in our kit for that, so we have to be dangerously cheesy. The lava valve can be shot with an arrow, so the ladies take positions above and wait for me to Misty Step up there. Once I do that, we lure the robot, smash it, and repeat until it can be cut to pieces. That was annoying, but Lae'zel looks awesome. It evens out. We take the elevator up to the shadow-cursed lands. There are a lot of busted moon lanterns in this dreadful place, so we make camp. Oh great, Mizora has to crash everything.
What do you want, Mizora?
The demon needs Will to rescue one of Zariel's assets from Moonrise Towers. Otherwise, he'll get turned into a blob. I think that we have to renegotiate this contract.
I've never seen such a fearless display of sheer idiocy. Bravo!
She agrees, so I don't care. We've got our work cut out for us, so why is the Dream Visitor wearing that? She might as well get on with it.
Each wave a set of orders to the infected. The order for your transformation has been given many times already.
Yep, it's coming from Moonrise, and we have to go there.
The task ahead is monumental. But we're all that stands between victory for the absolute and freedom for all.
Couldn't agree more. We'll get to it in Act 2. I'll see you next time.